Hello. This presentation is meant for the students of semester 3 on general English subject. This is MD Jalil, Assistant Professor of English, Tara Government College Autonomous, Sangareddy. This presentation is a continuation to the previous presentation, in which we started unit number 2 of our syllabus. Unit number 2 has been divided into 4 sections. Among them, the first one is a poem, second one is a prose piece of lesson, and third one is vocabulary section, and the fourth one is grammar section. Among these 4 sections, in the previous presentation, we started the first section, the poem. So in the previous section, we have completed some sections that are given in the syllabus. And in this presentation, we try to take the remaining sections of the poem. So in unit number 2, we have been introduced to the poem titled Punishment in Kindergarten. This poem is written by a well-known Indian poetess, Kamala Das. In first unit, we have completed the first poem, Life, written by Charlotte Bronte, who belongs to 18th century, a well-known British poet. And this poem is written by an Indian modern poet, Kamala Das. The title of the poem is Punishment in Kindergarten. In the previous presentation, we saw in detail about the title and the poem. Just here, I try to present a glance of these things, and now later we try to enter into the remaining parts of the syllabus of the poem. Punishment in Kindergarten tells us that this poem is one of the experiences of the poet Kamala Das when she was attending a kindergarten. Then a punishment, she was remembering a punishment given to her, and she is presenting that experience in this poem. And we completed in the previous presentation the pre-reading activity by going through all these questions in detail to motivate the students towards the poem and giving them some introduction towards the poem. After that, we also completed the information towards the poet Kamala Das. Kamala Das was born in 1934 and died in 2009. She was born in the Malabar region of Kerala, and her poetry is marked for confessional mode. Confessional mode of poetry was very popular during the among the Western poets, and we immediately remember the name of Sylvia Plath, a Canadian poet, who wrote her poetry in confessional mode. Kamala Das also, in her poetry, she represents the confessional mode of poetry. Basically, confessional mode of poetry relates to the experiences, the past experiences, and the guilt, and all those things are presented in that kind of poetry. Kamala Das, known for her confessional poetry, and she published many books. Among them, her first book, Summer in Calcutta, was published in 1965. But with the publication of Old Place Home and other poems in 1973, got her a wide recognition. And My Story, which was published in the year 1976, was her autobiographical work. And this book made Kamala Das one of the prominent personalities in English, in Indian English writings. And she told that she was very much influenced by her mother, Balamani Amma. And when she published her short stories and novels, Kamala Das adopted a pen name, Madhavi Kutty, and all her Malayalam writings were published with this pen name, Madhavi Kutty, in Malayalam. And the present poem, Punishment in Kindergarten, was written from one of her experiences when she was attending her kindergarten. So this poem explains one of Kamala Das' past experiences. In those days, Kamala Das was attending a kindergarten school, and kindergarten school is a pre-primary school. These schools are intended for the children of below 5 years. Basically, they are play-based schools, and the intention of these schools is to make the students habituated towards schools. So these schools deal with the children of 5 years below. So the children of these schools, this school, once taken to a picnic, and Kamala Das was attending the school in Calcutta in those days, and the students of that kindergarten school were one day taken to a picnic to Victoria Gardens. So she was in her tender age during that period. And in this poem, Kamala Das is recollecting one of her experiences on the day of picnic. So now we try to see in detail of the poem, Punishment in Kindergarten. So this is the poem, Punishment in Kindergarten, written by Kamala Das. Basically, this poem is divided into 3 stanzas. Each stanza having 7 lines in them, except the final stanza. The final stanza is having 9 lines. So this is the poem we have in our syllabus. And this poem is written in the mode of confessional, recalling our experience, one of the experiences during the poet's kindergarten days, means during that period her age was below 5 years. So she is narrating the experience that took place when Kamala Das along her peer group were taken to a picnic to Victoria Gardens in Calcutta. So we begin with stanza number 1. Today, the world is a little more my own. No need to remember the pain. A blue-frocked woman cast, throwing words at me like pots and pans to drain the honey-colored day of peace. Why don't you join the others? What a peculiar child you are. So the last two lines of the first stanza are mentioned in inverted commas. So they can be taken as direct speech by some person. So who is that person? And what are the intentions of that person? Why did the person say these words? You will see in the first stanza. She is beginning the poem with the line, today the world is a little more my own. So this day, today, and this world is a little more my own, means this day is my own, more my own. Own means I have more command on today than that day, which I am recollecting my experience. So through this line, we can understand that this day, when Kamala Das is narrating her experience, now she is a grown-up woman. So now I am a younger one than the experienced day. So today I have more command. Today I have more authority. Today I am a master of the world. But in those days, it was not like that. Then I was a student of kindergarten. I was a small child. So I had no authority on the day, on the time, on the world. I was imprisoned in the hands of the elders. But today I have more authority. So there is no need to remember the pain. So actually today, this day, I have no need. I am not compelled. I have no necessity to remember the pain. So it tells us that that day she gone through some bad experience. She had some pain. And today, actually, I do not need to remember that pain. Those days were gone. Now I am a grown-up woman. I have command over my life, my days. To think, there is no need to remember those days, those experiences, those bad happenings, that kind of pain. But they are haunting her, but they are following her. Actually, she does not need to remember those things, those experiences, that kind of pain. But the experiences, the impressions, they are in my brain, they are in my mind. They are not living. So I am narrating that experience. Then what happened that day? What was the bad experience that she gone through during that period? A blue-frocked woman caused. The cause for the pain. Till today, I remember that experience. Till today, I remember the pain. And the cause for the pain was a woman. Because of a woman, I got that bad experience, unhappy experience. Who was that woman? A blue frocked woman. That woman was wearing a frock, and it was a blue colored frock. So here, if you observe this word, a blue frock is a hyphenated word. Hyphenated means that it is a combination of words separated from a hyphen, a punctuation mark, but it produces one meaning. So here, a blue frocked woman, the words blue and frocked are hyphenated words, means that woman was wearing a frock which color is blue. Till today, she remembers the color of that frock that woman was wearing. So that was that experience, that impression was so strong. It was so powerful in her mind that till today she remembers the color of that frock that the woman was wearing. So who was that woman? Throwing words at me like pots and pans. That woman who was wearing blue frock, that woman who caused the pain, she throwing words. She threw the words. So generally throwing some object, throwing some stones, throwing something. But here the woman was throwing words, means she was shouting at me. She was throwing words at me. So the words were intended. So by the word throwing, we can understand that the words are not soft spoken words. Those words are harsh words. Throwing words at me like pots and pans. So if a person gets angry and near to him there are pots and pans, immediately that person throw them. In the same way, the blue frocked woman throwing the pots and pans, but they are not the real pots and pans, but she was throwing the words like pots and pans. So here, throwing words at me like pots and pans, here she is employing a figurative speech called simile. So here words are compared with pots and pans. But when she is making this comparison, she used the word like. So when we compare two things by using the word like or as are called similes. And when we compare things without using like or as are called metaphors. So here the poet comparing the blue frocked woman words, throwing words with pots and pan, she employed the figurative speech of simile. Right. Now coming back to the point. So that blue frocked woman who caused the pain, throwing words, shouting at me like pots and pans. So the words they were hitting my face like pots and pans, my brain like pots and pans. So those words are not mild, soft spoken words, but they are very harsh. To drain the honey-colored day of peace. Actually, that day was a very pleasant day, a peaceful day, because the day was colored. It filled with the color of honey. Honey is very sweet. Everyone likes to take honey. So honey coated, honey colored. Here it resembles, it explains the sweet mood of the day. The day was honey colored day. It was a very sweet day. It was a very peaceful day. But that honey colored, that sweetness was drained. Drained means took off, totally squeezed, taken off. Because I was very happy. I was enjoying the picnic. I went to picnic. It was a very sweet day, and it was filled with peace. But the entire uh, happiness was drained by her words. What did the woman say? Why don't you join the others? What a peculiar child you are. The blue-frocked woman told to me, why don't you join? Why don't you go and join with other girls, with other children? Why you are standing alone here? Why don't you join the others? Go and join the others. You are standing alone. Why you are standing alone? What a peculiar child you are. Every child who have come to the picnic are playing in groups or enjoying, but you are standing alone. Why don't you join with others? What a peculiar child you are. You are always a peculiar. Peculiar means not regular, strange, odd, different child you are. While everybody was enjoying in groups, in teams, playing, you are just standing alone. What kind of a peculiar girl you are? Why don't you go and join us? So this is the stanza number 1. So by seeing the stanza number 1, we can come to the conclusion that we can summarize the poem that this stanza tells us that the children of that kindergarten, when Kamala Das was a part of that kindergarten, were taken to a picnic to Victoria Gardens in Calcutta. And Kamala Das was part of that picnic. And she went to the picnic with her classmates, and then she was alone at one particular place. Then a woman, her teacher, who was wearing a blue frock, till today Kamala Das remembers that color, that impression very strongly, comes to this child, this girl, and says that what a peculiar girl you are. Why don't you join in groups, and why don't you play with others? So this experience in a nutshell tells us that when Kamala Das went to the picnic, and the sweet honey-colored day of peace was disturbed by her teacher, who was very much insensitive towards the single child Kamala Das, who was alone. Instead of taking the small child near to her and making the child to mix up with the other girls and make her play. Instead of doing that, that teacher, who was a blue-frocked woman, comes to Kamala Das and she chides, she shouts that you are a peculiar girl and you don't join with others. So superficially, it seems like a uh, very, a kind of very superficial experience. But that girl of whose age was below 5 years, the words, that experience has a strong impression, left strong impression on her, that instead of understanding her loneliness, instead of understanding her having no capacity to mix with other girls, the teacher shouted at this girl to join with others. So this was her experience when she gone through her kindergarten days. So this is stanza number 1. Now we see stanza number 2. On the lawn, in clusters, sat my schoolmates, sipping sugar cane. They turned and laughed. Children are funny things. They laugh in mirth at others' tears. I buried my face in the sun-warmed hedge and smelled the flowers and the pain. On the lawn. So when I was standing or sitting alone at some place, my teacher came to me and shouted at me. The words are like throwing pots and pans at me. When she said those words, why don't you join the others? What a peculiar child you are. On the lawn, in clusters, sat my schoolmates. So there was a lawn, and in the lawn, in clusters, clusters means in groups of similar kind of people. So all are kindergarten children. So the children were sitting in clusters, in groups, sat my schoolmates. So all those were my schoolmates, my companions. And all those children were sipping. Sipping means slowly drinking. They are taking sip after sip, sugar cane. So all the children, all the girls were uh, sipping the sugar cane juice that was supplied to them. They were sitting in clusters, in groups, and on the lawn. When teacher told those words, the above words, all the children who were sipping the sugar cane, they turned. Immediately they turned at me and laughed. And all of them laughed. So I became a laughing stock of that time. Usually it happens in classes, in groups. When one student was insulted, one student was, somebody speaks some harsh words, or insulting words to somebody, immediately all the people, instead of taking sympathy on that student, they laugh. It generally it happens with the children because they do not have that kind of mental maturity. So they take those things as funny, laughing things. So all my classmates, when teacher shouted at me, all of my classmates turned to me and they laughed. Children are funny things. They laugh in the mirth at others' tears because children are very much funny. They do not have that maturity. So they laugh. They laugh in mirth at others' tears. So they take it as a funny thing of others' tears. Somebody is crying, somebody is weeping. They take them as a laughing. I buried my face. So I got insulted. I felt insulted, humiliated, guilt. So I did not know what to do. I buried my face. Buried means here hide. Burying means putting something and covering it with something. But here I buried my face. I hid my face in the sun warm hedge. So there is a hedge. Hedge means a group of bushes. So in that park, in that lawn, there is a bush, and in that hedge, in that bush, I buried my face. I hid my face, and that hedge was sun warm. It was warm because sun was shining very brightly on the sky. So the hedge got warmed, and in that warm hedge, I buried my face. When I buried my face, I hid my face, I smelled. I got the smell, the flowers, and the pain. Look at this line. So I got the smell of flowers as well as the pain. Actually, do we have the smell for pain? Pain is an emotion, it's a feeling. But here she comparing the flowers with pain. So have the smell of both the flowers and the, so it was that much strong, that pain. I could not forget. So this is our stanza number 2. To summarize the stanza, we can say that all the children were sitting in clusters in the garden when the teacher scolded the poet Kamala Das. All our classmates were sitting in clusters in the garden. They were sipping sugarcane juice. When the teacher scolded Kamala Das, everyone turned to her and laughed at her. The poet felt insulted and buried her face in the sun-warmed hedge. Then she felt the smell of flowers and the pain. The words are the last stanza. The words are muffled now. Actually, the words, the comments passed by my schoolmates, my teacher, the words are muffled. Muffled means not clear. This incident happened a long back. Now I am a grown-up woman. Actually, exactly, I don't remember those words. They are not clear. They are not audible. Muffled means not clear. Sometimes when we don't get proper signal in the radio, on the radio, the words are muffled. So now the words are muffled now. The laughing faces only a blur. My classmates were laughing at me, and those faces were just a blur. I can't remember those faces exactly now because it was a blur. Blur means it was not clear. When on television sets we don't get good signal, proper signal, the television screen shakes. Then those faces were blur. So the faces blur to me. The years have sped along because the years have passed. Sped means they have gone. The speed, they passed away along, stopping briefly. So the time was moving very speed, very fast. But here and then, the time was stopping at a beloved halls. Sometimes there were happy days, happy moments. There, the time was stopping, but and moving sadly on. But when the time was, so the time was passing very fastly, here and now, stopping at happy moments, but again moving sad. My mind has found an adult face. Now my mind has found, now my mind is in an adult phase because generally When we grow up into adults, we get a kind of command over our life. So now I am a little bit in peace. But in those days, I was totally imprisoned in the hands of my teachers and my elders. Now I have that adult peace. Adult means grown up people. No need to remember that picnic day. Actually, today I did not have any need or necessity to remember that picnic day. But still, that impression is with me. That memory was not erased. So still it is with me. Though I don't have any need to remember it, still it is with me. The day when I hidden by hedge, the day I hidden my face by a hedge, the bushes, watching the still white sun from the hedge, from the bush, I could see, I watched the still white sun. The sun, it is very much white, is bright, shining like steel, standing lonely in the sky. And that too, sun was also standing lonely in the sky. So there the sun was alone, and here I was alone. That's it. So in the last two stand lines, she was comparing herself with the sun. Though the sun was alone in the sky, it was spreading the light to entire earth. I was also alone. But some people, they were not able to understand the greatness of loneliness, the brightness, but it was there. So this is the poem that the punishment got by Kamala Das during her kindergarten. So basically, this poem, the central idea of the poem is how painful experiences of childhood haunt entire life, though they have no significance in the present day. The poet used very powerful images in the poem to convey her feelings. The image is that the poet is a still white sun standing lonely in the sky. So in this way, Kamala Das, writing the confessional mode of her poetry by bringing back to her memory one of her punishments at kindergarten. So she explained her experience, one of her experiences that took place during her kindergarten. And after the poem, we have some glossary and section and comprehension section. With that, we try to conclude our presentation. So in this poem, we have some difficult words. It is better if you know the meaning of these words, meanings of these words. Drain. Drain means to make something empty, squeezing out, taking totally. Peculiar. Peculiar means unusual, odd, strange, different from what is normal. Cluster. Cluster means a group of similar things or people appearing closely together, a bunch. Clusters. So our classmates, schoolmates were sitting in clusters, in groups. Mirth. Amusement, gladness expressed in laughter. So all our schoolmates, classmates laughed at her mirth. She was in tears, but everybody was laughing at her because at that age, the children, they do not know uh, they do not have that maturity to understand the emotions. So these are some difficult words that are in the poem. And after that, we try to see some comprehension questions and some one or two words I think you need to know the meanings. Muffled. Muffled means made quieter, softer, and difficult to hear because of some obstruction, muted, unclear sounds, and blur. The meaning of this word is something that cannot seen or heard clear. So with this, these are some difficult words in the poem. After that, we try to see these questions, comprehension questions, and try to answer these questions. What is the central idea of the poem? How does the poet express it? What is the central idea of the poem? The central idea of the poem is how painful experiences of childhood follow the later part of the life. Summarize the speaker's experience on a picnic day when she was in kindergarten. So what was the experience that Kamala Das had during her picnic day when she was in kindergarten? What happened then? Why it was an unhappy experience? Try to summarize it. Discuss the language and images used in the poem to express the emotions of the speaker. So how do you feel about the language? Is it difficult? Is it simple? How was the flow of the words? And what were the images that used by Kamala Das? For example, in the first stanza, she told us that the blue frocked woman, the teacher was throwing words like pots and pans. And in the last stanza, uh, uh, she gave us the image of a still white sun, lonely, standing lonely in the sky. So try to identify such images in the poem. And the title of the poem is Punishment in Kindergarten. What was the punishment given to the girl, and why did she consider it a punishment? Was the child beaten or or caused any physical harm on her? What was the punishment? The punishment was the words spoken by that insensitive teacher. The teacher, instead of understanding the feelings, emotion of the child, she tried to scold her. So that was the punishment Kamala Das took that day. Explain the difference between the speaker who is recounting the incident and the girl who experienced it. So here, if we separate the girl from the poet, then what is the difference in recounting, recollecting the memory? While recollecting the picnic day, the speaker remembers some things clearly and others only vaguely. What are the things she able and unable to forget? For example, she remembers very well that the teacher was wearing a blue frock, but at the same time, the faces who were laughing at the poet were blurred. So some things she remembers very well, whereas some things she was not able to do. So try to identify which things were remembered very well and which things were forgotten by the poet. The speaker repeats that there is no need to remember that picnic day. Do you think she would ever be able to forget it? Discuss the possibilities either way. Repeatedly, she was telling that there is no need to remember that day, the pain. But till she remembers that day, because that experience has been following her till that day. It was haunting her. It was not difficult for her to forget. Now, though that incident has no meaning, no worth, no value, in her present day life till she remembers that incident. So this is the gist and the important explanatory part of the poem Punishment in Kindergarten. So I thank all of you for listening this presentation. Thank you.